Hello, everybody. This is Megan.
And this is Alana.
And this is Mary Kate.
And welcome to Tea Time Crimes. Hello, everybody. Alana's about to explode. We got Mary Kate back here for a special bonus episode, a TTC Christmas confabulation. So what we're going to do, today, if you are here for Murder and Mayhem, you should hit pause and go about your business because we are having no tea reviews, no cases today. The three of us are just going to talk about the podcast, our favorite episodes, our least favorite episodes. If you want to hear what comes out of Alana's mouth, then I suggest you stay. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week with our regular format. So first off, how are you guys doing?
Do you ever look in the mirror and visibly recoil? I did that this morning. I was like, oh, why?
I felt like morning. You were looking at me when you said that. And I was like, is that to me?
No. Every morning I wake up, I'm just a beautiful, fresh-faced 20-year-old, and my hair was sticking straight up, and like I had the darkest circles. I look like a zombie. So yeah, I totally every morning I think until like blood starts circulating in my face again, and then I'm like, oh, there's my normal face.
And there's Claire from Outlander.
That's like blowing my mind because you both like have like the dewy skin of like an 18-year-old.
Have you? Alana once said
while
to me,
maintaining responsibilities like animals and children.
Alana said to me once, I look great in the morning.
It's just that my hair looks okay.
She said it. She goes, and then
you like your hair best in the morning?
It looks fine. Not right now. Look at these curly cues.
No, she honestly said, well, I look great in the morning.
So. That's not exactly how I said it. And there's context missing.
That's true. I've seen it.
She has seen it. She has seen me at my worst. Let's be honest.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I've seen you in the morning. You do. You're pretty consistent.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's not what we're here to talk about. This is already taking a turn.
I don't want this kind of like self-loathing.
Yeah. Let's just say, like, forget it. All right. Let's get into what we're going to talk about. So we're just going to ask ourselves some questions about TTC history and see where it lands us. So, Alana, to start.
Oh, God.
Well, we're all going to answer, but what so far, and you can't say Anne, Bonny, and Mary Read because you always say that, but we've been asked this on other podcasts. What's your favorite episode besides Anne Bonny?
Aqua Tofana.
Oh, that's a good one.
Aqua Tofana. It's just so good.
What about you, Mary Kate? Have you listened to every episode or pretty close, right?
So I am pretty proud of myself because I don't, I'm a baby.
Yeah, she's a my camp kind of girl.
But I don't earmuff. Anytime you tell Alana to earmuff, I don't, maybe it's just that I don't have the self-control that Alana has. Like, I'm like, but
she's too curious.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this one's really scaring me. I have to listen. I've mostly listened to every episode. You were my top podcast on Spotify.
Yes. We weren't even Alana's top podcast, just FYI.
I'm not listening to it there.
Yeah.
You should be. Get the listens up. Put it on mute for all I care.
I do appreciate a trigger warning. So there's a few that I haven't listened to because I'm like, that would be too much for me overall. So aside from a handful, I've listened to the whole thing, unlike Alana.
Wow.
Unlike me.
What has been that you've enjoyed the most? I know it sounds a little weird because this is the context of true crime, right? But we've also covered tons of women who have just done awesome things or have just been in a situation and they've kind of come back from something difficult. So it's not
or just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite is Anne Bonny and Mary Read. They are so cool.
They're
just cool.
They're just cool.
Like, were they doing crimes or were they just being cool pirates?
Yeah. Who could say?
I mean, definitely doing some crimes.
There were some tipples involved.
Yeah, for sure.
And some nipples, because every single picture of them,
tipples
that was how.
Nipples. New
podcast. Imagine you just abandon this podcast.
She just hits exit right now.
Podcast called Tipples and Nipples.
What's it about? Tell us about this new podcast.
Oh, well, I don't think we can talk about it here.
What does that even mean? It's an audio
it's an
podcast.
OnlyFans podcast.
I don't think you could describe it this extensively that it would not be allowed.
Alana actually has like a whole outline already prepared. She's a pitch.
She just knew I would go that route. She's like, Megan's going to rhyme this word at some point, and then I can announce my new podcast.
Yeah, I've listened to the Anne Bonny episode like multiple times, like a comfort listen. Like I'm like I love like to rewatch shows that I love or like listen to something that I've listened to already. So I'll listen to that if I just want something on like in the background. I love that one.
Oh my gosh. I never would have thought that. Someone listened. That's amazing. All right. I don't know what my favorite one is. I have a lot of them, I think. I mean, I love St. Clair. It's more for me, it's a little different because I do all of the research. So which one really surprised me or hooked me in or ended up different? I love all of the ones like Kate Warren and Mary Fields and all of those are super fun. And I know that Alana's going to love them, which also I find exciting because I know she's going to be so jazzed. Which one has been your absolute least favorite?
Freeway Phantom.
Besides Freeway Phantom. I'm going to say that.
I didn't listen to Freeway Phantom.
I warned her ahead of time. I was like, do not listen to this.
No, my least favorite was Georgia Tan. I like cried.
Yeah.
In public listening to that one. That was so
heartbreaking.
So awful. Like such a systemic. Oh my gosh. It just makes you so mad and you wish you could go back in time.
Right. Like you're helpless about it. Makes you sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. That's one of our most listened to episodes.
It is.
I know it's uncomfortable and disturbing and scary, but it's super important to realize that happened. The fact that I didn't know any of that happened was so surprising because, my husband's from Tennessee. You'd think that would be common knowledge to people who live there, and he had no idea.
There.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the things that's like so painful for people who've experienced something like that is that it's not widely known. So you probably, that's another layer of like feeling like you're going crazy in this world that doesn't recognize something that's just so tragic that it happened. And
it's such a, adoption is such a difficult conversation to have because there's some people who don't want anybody to know.
Right.
They never want to talk about it.
Layer.
It happened. It doesn't mean anything to them. This is their family and they're happy that they're with their adoptive family. And then there's other people who want to know both. And then there's other people who are severely mistreated and want to get their story out. So it runs that range that is really tricky and complicated. What story keeps you up at night? And I don't mean scary, but what case do you think about and just, for me, it's obviously Freeway Phantom is one of them, but that's an obvious. But for me, the Joan Risch case really messes with my mind. What happened?
Me too.
What happened to her? It was a span of 20 minutes or something ridiculous. Her daughter was son were there. What happened? I can't wrap my head around that one.
It literally like gives me chills to think about. And also so many of the cases you all do is like are in the past, like so far removed. And this felt so current. And
even though
everything
wasn't that current, it still felt like it. I know.
Yeah, I also feel like I don't understand what year it is, but it feels
1990. Yeah,
always.
Yeah, it is 2005.
Yep.
And just like how you said, leading up to that period of time, everything else felt so just like run of the mill.
Right, normal.
Yeah, totally. I was so scared listening to that. I locked 2 indoor locks and I just sat on the bed and waited for my partner to get home.
And I feel when those things happen a lot of times, for instance, one that's similar is the Malvina Kreutz case, because I felt as though probably her husband or the painter, there was a really strong lead on a suspect. But for this one, her husband wasn't even around. He wasn't in town. He was devastated. Her children are teeny tiny. Nobody was seen on the road. There is that weird family history, but they couldn't pin it down. And it just, there's blood evidence and they weren't able to test it in the way that they could today. And I feel that could have been solved.
I know. Those ones are always like, come on. Like it sucks that you can't retest stuff. I mean, sometimes you can, but sometimes it's just not enough.
What about you, Alana? Is there one that wiggles at your brain?
I think sometimes the ones that are very ambiguous, like the axe murder lady, and also the one we recently did with the lady and the 2 guys.
Could you be more specific on any of those things?
Lizzie Borden.
Oh, yeah. I think that's one of my favorite episodes because
It's
I
close
grew
to
up
home.
with that Lizzie Borden as being a folklore, not a scary crime.
Never heard of it.
I know. And I think when I think back on that, that's one of the first ones where I felt that Alana really just stepped into the podcast. You were nervous at first. And by that one, you'd found your stride and you were like, here's my rating. You're a sheep. And we just went with it.
Oh, was
And
that the episode?
I think that was, I could be wrong, but I think
when we did the animal quizzes.
I think it was Animal Quiz. And I think that was when you thrusted your thumbs, which was my least favorite T rating.
Wow.
I think. Maybe not. But sorry, go ahead. So Lizzie Borden, and then do you mean Viola Hyatt?
Yes. They all of the names blend together. Like everybody's named Kate and John
And Mary.
and Mary in the history
A lot
of the
of Marys.
podcast.
And we have Mary Kate with us. So full
I know.
circle.
Really full
Yes.
circle. Don't
Not a murderer.
don't start poisoning people. It's
For
a
the
very
record.
boring tactic.
Poison is wild. That the sheer number of poisonings on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I have so many more.
Megan has to fight to like not have poisoners because like there's so many poison killings. So she's like has to scrounge for it.
Yeah. Every fifth episode is going to be a poisoner. If I find somebody who is not a poisoner, I'm surprised because they're historical cases. And again, we mostly don't, do anything recent. Those cases back in the day, they just grab that arsenic and go with it. That's all they wanted to do.
As a non-murderer, it's wild so
Right.
much I'm poisoning someone. Because like I love to bake and I'll bake people something. I'll be like, oh my God, what if I didn't cook the egg enough or something? It's like other people are out here purposely poisoning people, their loved ones.
Yeah.
Well, these women also love to bake, I think. You share that?
They sure
We
did.
share that in common.
Yeah. You just have a different recipe.
Slightly. Just
Slightly different. What has been, we always do spooky season, which Alana hates, but I love. What has been, Mary
True.
Kate, this one's for you first, your favorite spooky episode?
I love spooky season. When it gets to spooky
You
season,
do?
I'm just like, yes,
I can't believe it.
love everything. Ghosts and spirits and
So she's a
otherworld.
Megan in October, but just an Alana the rest of the year.
100%.
Yes.
And I have a theory about Alana that
Oh,
she
here we go.
is not
Go on.
that she is not as opposed to all of this as she's
She
letting
pretends.
on.
Yeah, agree.
I think it's like total defense mechanism. Like she believes in it too much that like if she starts to let herself into it, it's like too much for her to handle. So I think she really believes in it and she's just scared.
Yeah.
And I think like in 5 years when Tea Time Crimes is like a household name, she's going to be fully in on the spooky episodes. She'll be there.
Like I'll be a ghost hunter.
Yes, I think you're on your path and you're currently in denial.
I really don't want that path.
It takes one little spirit to show himself, and then you're on our side.
Or herself. Wow.
Yes, I love all of the spooky seasons because I'm like, yeah, of course there's spirits.
Of course.
Why, of course?
Because our physical bodies, begin to fail us at some point.
What about all the animals then? Do we have animal spirits? What about ant
Absolutely.
spirits?
Yeah.
Cockroach
100
spirits?
billion%. Yes.
Okay, then there's 100 billion spirits.
That's why
Yep.
when you're walking about, there's energy everywhere. You're feeling
I
it.
feel that, but there's not ghosts.
Wow, but listen to yourself. You do feel that.
But there's a vibe. There's a vibe. It's different.
Listen to yourself.
It's not different. It's not. I know you're on your way. You are on your way.
But also think about this. What if the spirits get recycled? That really cuts down on the numbers, right?
The fuck does that mean?
Reincarnation.
Recycled?
Yeah. Like some spirit, maybe they eat. Isn't there that movie where the dog comes back, like 10 different dogs? I can't watch it because I know that I will have puffy eyes for 14 days, but from sobbing. But yeah, they could just be repurposing. We don't know.
It's a good point. Isn't it, Alana?
I think the ghosts that are here that are in our stories are the ones who are trapped here because something really funky went on.
Like, don't you just like drive around and you're like, oh, that's a haunted house.
Absolutely.
That's a haunted house.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I
you can
live
just
in New
feel it.
Orleans.
Everything is haunted.
What do you think
Correct.
haunted means?
Yeah, but it's not real. It's like, yeah, some bad shit is there, but there's no ghosts hanging around.
So you believe in an energetic imprint.
That's too much. I believe sometimes I walk into a place and I'm like, I don't want to be here. And then I leave.
And why do you think that is?
Because there's just the vibe is off, as the Gen Z would say.
Residual energy.
No. Too much.
What are you calling? What's
This is just part of her journey.
Yeah.
Next year, she'll be in a different place with it. She'll be like, I feel comfortable saying spirit, but not ghost or something.
Yeah. All right. We'll just let her evolve then.
My favorite spooky season episode is the one, I don't remember the family's name. Was it in Georgia? The Weirick family? The Wyrick family?
The one where it was earmuffed forever for the half of the episode.
Yeah. The one where Alana was barely present.
Yeah.
Yes. That one was so interesting. Just all of the layers to it.
Just why would she lie about that?
Totally. And I loved, I don't know, I felt like the family was just so interesting and that there were good spirits and bad spirits.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, that was such a fun one. I loved that.
That one freaked me out. Do you know that after I did that one, it's the only one where something really weird happened to the recording and it took me forever to edit it because it kept messing up. I kept having to redo it. I was starting to freak out a little bit. I said, okay.
Yeah, that is
Remember
spooky.
when what's her name visited me on my spring?
Sarah Winchester.
Yeah.
That was the best. I said, hey, Sarah Winchester. And then
she's cool.
Piano sounded like it hit on Alana's side. And she
Yeah,
was known to be a pianist.
There was a spring, like I have a spring on my recording setup and it just thrummed.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, she was
It's
saying
interesting, but it means I had moved it and it hadn't released yet.
I rolled my eyes so hard for anybody who can hear
It's a
it.
listening podcast.
I feel so much for Megan during those episodes because you like start presenting such an interesting story. And then Alana, like you're halfway through a sentence and she's just like, no.
Oh, and she just drags me down. I know. I was thinking that too. I was
Mary Kate on for those. I will take a hiatus and Mary Kate's on
Because
for
I would
those.
be the opposite. I would be
Yeah.
like, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she would hype it up.
Yes, and tell me more.
Yeah.
next year I'm gonna have to tell her, like, could you just suspend belief for the first 20 minutes and then you can come in guns blazing because I can't even get through the setup because she's like, no, it's stupid.
She's like, it couldn't. She knows it's going to be about ghosts. And she's like, no.
Yeah. She just instantly, they're lying. I hate it. No, idiots. And I can't even set up a character because she's just killing me. The Bell Witch is a perfect example. She wouldn't. No.
Mm-mm.
But I think the voices scared her so much, she kind of was a little bit quieter.
Yeah, I hated that. I couldn't listen back to it. Well, it's just the first part. The choking noises were too scary for me. I had to skip that one.
I know. Do you know, I made most of those, so it was scary
Yeah,
for me
that
too.
made it even worse.
Yeah, it was gross.
I like the Halloween, the trick-or-treat murder.
That was scary.
That's one of our most listened to episodes as well.
Yeah, it is.
Always surprises me.
It was very interesting. And also that one, like it's like the teenager who saw the car, but like there's just a lot of like missing leads there. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
It was sad.
What happened there?
I know.
I think my favorite one is the witch episode we did this year just because it had a current
Yes.
update where
Yep.
the ancestors had gotten
What's that
their... What?
The word where they like...
Exonerated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the women and men...
It's too close to exhume, so I'm not comfortable there.
I can handle it
Okay.
starting with the same letter. Where they...
EX.
Just the sheer amount of words with so many different meanings that begin with EX.
Gosh. I mean, here she is, just bringing me down. I'm trying to talk about spooky episode. I really loved learning about the women and their lives, and I mean, there were some men, obviously, but is Alan okay?
Yeah.
I just heard him choking in the back.
Yeah.
The Bell Witch reference was a minute ago, Alan. You're a little behind.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, can you do something spooky every now and then? No.
Imagine. Maybe you should have him do some jingle bells.
If that didn't pick up
That
on the
would be
mic, we
fun.
just heard coughing in the background as if the Bell Witch was with us. And so anyway, the witch episodes, just listening to what they went through, and it's just unbelievable to me
It's
that
fucked.
you're a mother of 4, you're going about your day, and then somebody says, you know what, they were in my
You're
room
a
last
witch.
night dancing on the ceiling, and then suddenly you're pulled from your children and executed in front of everybody.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
wild.
It's crazy.
And like, right, the majority of people are like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like all
That's
of
the
the
thing.
townspeople, you live in a town, right? So everybody you know, that you're the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, they're all there and they're like, yep, thank goodness we stopped that woman. And it's just mind blowing to me.
I feel comfortable saying that the three of us would all 100% have been accused of being witches.
Absolutely.
Isn't even making it to her 20s. Okay.
No, but I'd go out swinging for the soft parts. I'll tell you that. I'm not going up there willingly.
I
fight.
I don't know. I'm such a rule follower. I wonder how I would have been back in the day if I would have just probably died
but
at
you're
20
smart.
in childbirth.
That's the problem.
But would I have been?
Yeah.
Without an education?
Yeah. You're naturally smart.
Oh,
Some people are just book smart and that's learned, but
naturally smart. Would you like me to do an equation for you on air?
maybe not that path of smart.
Do you want me to dust off my math skills? I'm having to luckily my son's only in addition and subtraction, so I'm right there with him. But how quickly is that going to rise to our house? Where both Brad and I are like, I don't know. That looks tough.
Duolingo now does math.
You want to take the class and then tutor him?
I did some of it and then I stopped.
Why?
Just because I could always be better.
Oh boy. Mary Kate, are you good at math?
I am so embarrassingly bad at math. Like,
what math class did you take in college? Because I took statistics and it was the best choice I've ever taken.
Theory of mathematics. Like, it was not even.
Yeah, we didn't take real math classes, to be clear. We avoided that
statistics.
as much as possible. Yeah,
I actually was very good at statistics. Yes, there were very clear rules.
Because it's qualitative.
You're qualitative.
I took a fake math class that other arts type people took, and I got a C.
That's a solid grade.
I did well. I did well otherwise, to put it in context.
I mean, it was a miracle that we didn't get C's in French.
You didn't?
Right.
We gave her chocolates, and I think that helped. For
what
Valentine's
did you get
Day.
in French? It could not.
I can't remember actually, but I would remember if I got a C.
I think we got A's.
Stop it.
I think we were close to not having to take the exam.
We were charming. I'll venture to say we were charming. Our unwashed freshman selves. Good
were you
Lord.
dating
we
the
would just
professor?
Roll in there.
Because I've heard your French.
No, she was just a little lonely, and we were like, let's make her day better.
I loved her.
Yeah.
She every Friday brought in chocolate croissants and Orangina.
Yep.
And we showed a level of enthusiasm for that I think she appreciated.
Everybody else was too cool. And we're shoving it down. So
she would play a game called Voici that was like bingo. Do you remember this? And you could earn extra credit points and put that towards your final grade.
That's what did it for you then.
Yeah, not the testing.
Mary Kate, say something in French. Your accent sounds a little bit more discerning than Alana's.
No, it's so bad. I can't do any accent. But my name in French class was Marie Camille. So je m'appelle Marie Camille.
But you're not saying it in a French accent.
I can't do accents.
Alana, would you like to take it?
What was my name? Amélie.
The shoulder shimmy that goes with that name intro.
That feels so different. Why couldn't your name have just been Alana?
Because it's not French. It's Hawaiian, I think.
Okay. Well, I guess that leads to my next question. What is your favorite accent that Alana does?
Some personal context. Alana always does an Irish accent. It's abominable. It's an abomination.
Yeah, that's what she says she's doing.
Awful.
Yeah. We've all heard it.
My fiance is originally from Ireland. We're getting married in Ireland next year. Alana is officiating our wedding in Ireland next year.
I so want to drop in on that wedding and crash it just to hear
You're
her.
Not the only one.
And then leave immediately.
Yeah, we welcome crashers, to be honest.
Just going to sit in a tree somewhere and listen.
I'm going to have to be on my best behavior, hardcore.
I promise they won't know.
They will.
What would you put the likelihood of Alana just being surrounded by a bunch of Irish people? How far in the night do you think it will get before she breaks out hers?
Put that together.
I was going to say, I think it'll be 3 drinks in before she really lets loose because she gets nervous. And also, I don't think they will know what she's doing. They will just think she is being silly. I don't think they will know she's trying to put on an Irish accent.
Right. They'll think she's just doing a baby voice or something.
Yeah. She'll be like, oh, good morning. And they'll be like, okay, hi, how are you?
Is she okay?
Are you all right? Have you been drinking hot cocoa with liquor in it? Because I don't know what's happening to you.
And
right
the
now,
answer
madam.
would be yes.
So I think you're going to get pretty far in the night, or at least a few drinks in before she tries it. I don't know, but I don't think they'll be offended. I think they would thoroughly enjoy it.
Oh, wow.
Do you think they'll be offended?
I just need someone to mind me. Like maybe I'll have one of your brothers be like,
Mary Kate's
"Cut it."
going to be busy.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Right. No, I just picture like I'll be walking by, I'll overhear a conversation. I'll be like, oh my God, Alana's doing her Irish.
Walk faster, walk faster.
Maybe you should warn your in-laws. Say, hey, I have a friend.
Alana has met my in-laws.
I have.
You probably did great then.
Yeah, they're very fun.
Did I do anything that night? I just feel like I didn't.
She wins people over. She'll be fine.
Oh my gosh. Alana, that night was so fun.
That night was the best.
That night was so fun. It was our engagement party that I was like, wow,
It was the
what
best.
is our wedding going to be like?
Yeah.
Maybe they will try to do an American accent and you guys can just bond.
Oh, yeah.
That would be nice.
That'd
You
be
can teach
nice.
them how to do a Southern accent.
Oh, God.
It'll be all right.
I need you for that.
But I do want to hear it.
So Alana's Irish accent is my favorite accent to be like, what is she doing?
Yeah. I think
Sorry to all of our Irish listeners.
all of the accents to me sound the same at this point. It's just she just says everything with more of a flair and then pretends it's
With more
almost
gusto.
the same accent. She goes from French to Italian to Irish all in just like one little valley of an adventure and sometimes she'll start trying to do a New York accent and then end up in a different place where she started, and it's just a journey that I enjoy every time.
I do appreciate how much you go for it.
Yeah,
exactly. You'll say
I'm
this
committed.
is a French accent and you'll unabashedly not do a French accent.
And then she will just will just enter her microphone and she's like, see, nailed it.
Yeah.
Did it so good.
Yeah, you do get like just
Hashtag
louder.
French.
When you're
Oh, yeah.
She really does. She just starts screaming something with like, I'm like, that was barely words. That if that was a name, it didn't register to anybody listening. I really enjoy it. Well, what was your best or your favorite tea review? We'll start with Alana since you're the one.
I can't judge my own.
Okay, I meant the tea, but take it down a notch.
Kolkata, obviously.
You're like, I couldn't possibly choose between all my children.
All of my tea reviews are perfect and I look very good in the morning.
No notes.
No.
No notes.
I'll be taking no further questions.
All right, Mary Kate, what was your favorite tea review?
I did like the time she reviewed a tea that was expired and then she was like, oh, it's musty.
And she still drank it. And I was worried for the entire hour.
I was like, I know you have so much unexpired tea in your home.
Thank you. She acts like she's a peasant.
But
Like, I know you have so much and you brought out a musty tea. And then we're like, oh, it's musty.
Got to use it up. Don't want to waste it.
I feel like you probably had a slight cough all that
I
week.
got to switch it up. There's a lot of pressure. Okay?
I didn't know there was a lot of pressure. Talk about that. Speak on that.
No, not really.
Mary Kate looks so concerned.
I just like to switch it up. I don't want to do a green tea like 3 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I also sometimes try to theme it with the weather. So.
She gets
The weather in your geographical.
Yes.
Correct. It's very helpful for our Southern Hemisphere folks.
That is also usually weeks behind because we record ahead of time.
Yeah, also that. But I do it. You know, I'm pretty good with those. It was November when we recorded a December episode, and I made it holiday.
Was there more to that, or was that the end?
It was a
Holiday.
Y. It was a Y-Y. Okay.
Holiday eat.
Yeah.
I also do want to say that your rating system is unhinged.
Unhinged.
Like it's detached from any kind of reality. Like it's all thumb based.
It is.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that? What if I wanted to go out and buy the tea?
Go for a thumbs up tea.
Obviously, Mary Kate. I mean,
I know, but like you'll be like, it's a floppy thumbs up.
yes. Yes.
Thumbs don't do that.
Yeah, I agree. And also, there's so many adjectives that she puts in front of the thumb that, you know, she'll say autumnal thumbs up.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Is it shedding leaf?
Do you want to get in the autumn spirit or not? That's the choice.
So, like sideways thumb, I get. That's the halfway point.
Yeah.
That's a mediocre tea.
Do you get that?
I do. That means it's okay. It means it's all right.
It's not quite a thumbs down, but it's getting there.
She doesn't hate it. She'd drink it again, but she doesn't
I think
love
I
it.
just didn't realize when this journey started that it would be a thumb-based.
I don't think anybody did, even me.
She did it spontaneously.
It was a revelation to yourself.
One episode.
It was.
I gotta remember what episode that was because I swear I gotta look back.
I can't remember which one it was.
We started recording. It just came out of nowhere, and I remember being so surprised. I thought, "Oh my goodness!" I think I said, "Oh my goodness, the rating system has emerged." And then she just went for it, and then she got really
because you're not really out here giving thumbs up ever.
Yeah,
to people.
I think most of them are.
If that was Alana's thing, just constant thumbs up.
Oh, Megan. Yeah, this is not like my go-to. Like,
I've never once seen you do it.
I'm more of a like this one or like this.
Right, and that was hang loose.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Or rock on. For everyone who's listening as an audio medium.
Those are my hand signals, not a thumbs up.
I can't find that document that says when you're rating emerged, but yeah. Anyway, I love it. You know, when she surprised me from the very first tea review because she was hesitant about this. She was on the fence, and we did our first episode, right? And I poured hours of research into that first case that we've covered. And I said, you just have to sit there and listen. I knew she'd eventually warm up and have great comments. And I said, just bring a tea and just say what you're drinking and say if you like it. I expected it to be a 20-second little segment. And she starts in guns blazing. It has a pretty good body. And I couldn't recover from it. And everyone since has always delivered. And I wasn't expecting it to be what it is. And I always wonder what the listeners think of the tea reviews who don't know you. I know Mary Kay knows you, and I know you obviously, so we love it. I'm curious, are people cracking up? Are people going out and buying this tea because you recommended it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, I want to know, are people buying the tea? People want to buy tea for me, so they like to hear it, I'm guessing.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
But I don't know, like, are they actually taking my recommendation? Maybe when I'm like actually very serious about how something is very good.
I mean, the Reverend and the Reprobate love it.
Yeah.
They're not drinking tea. They just to hear the words that come out of your mouth. That's why we're all here.
Terrifying.
Okay, if you could go back in time, right? So only people who are historical cases. Who are you wishing you could go back in time and interact with and maybe have a cup of tea with?
St. Clair.
I'd be a little scared of her, but yes.
Yeah, but she's just so cool.
She is cool. Not Anne Bonny?
I think I'd get punched in the face probably.
I'd go with Anne Bonny, and she wouldn't have tea.
It would be rum.
She would be like, "We're drinking pint glasses of rum," and I'd be like, "Okay."
There's no tippy. Up. Was that what it's called? Tipple, not a tipple. It'd be a tank. What about you, Mary Kate? Who else? If Anne Bonny RSVPs no, who else are you going with?
Oh wow,
I think everyone else I'm really scared of.
Really, everyone? What about Mary Fields or Virginia or Kate Warren?
Yes, true. I think the people who populate my mind when you ask, I'm like, oh my God, please don't invite Jolly Jane. Please don't invite Jolly Jane.
Yeah, Jolly Jane's absolutely out.
Imagine. I don't want to see her eyes. I don't want to see her eyes the most.
She would like target me and like bring me into her world and poison me so easily. I'd be dead like that.
Oh, she would like fawn over you.
I don't know. You're kind of young for her. I think you're fine till you're 70.
Oh, okay. We got some time.
With Jolly Jane.
Didn't she kill like her sister?
Yeah, you're not related. Jolly Jane's not getting anywhere near me. Either is Louise Pete. They run the same level of the female Ted Bundy's vibe for me. Gross. Any of the poisoners.
Yeah, the people who were charming and
I hate
poison people.
Hate it.
Geisha, get out.
Yeah.
Get out. Oh, Gianchuli, I would eat a tea cake. Absolutely. And never recover. Well, I wouldn't know. She'd just show up to my...
But her are on that.
Excuse me?
That's your reason?
Your what?
But that's the only reason you wouldn't want to eat one a lot. It's poison.
I would rather eat poison than that.
Agree. I agree. But I'm saying I wouldn't know. If somebody offered you a tea cake, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, yes, thank you?
No, there's sprinkled on the top.
What are you talking about?
Be poisoned than have a couple.
Yes.
I don't think I can air this. I'm wildly uncomfortable. I'm still not sure if you're saying the word I think you are, and I can't even recover.
I am.
Okay, stop it.
Stop doing it.
Anyway,
this might be the first episode that Megan has to use the little bleep sound for.
Wow.
I think I will. I will.
Oh my God.
I'm starting to feel like when you told me about your Spain story and when you told me about the club. That's how I'm starting to feel right now. So stop it.
The Spain story
Mary Kate was around.
Mary Kate, do you know this Spain person?
Yes, you do.
No. Oh, I do?
Alan, get a lozenge.
You know her friend.
What did you think of that story? Had you already heard it, Mary Kate?
I think that I have a horrible memory. One of the things I really enjoy is when Alana
you would not forget that.
No, I think that my brain is really kind to me and that it'll hear something like that story and it's like...
It just shuts it out. I absolutely told that story when it happened.
No, thank you. Like actually to go on with your life as a normal person, you're going to have to like compartmentalize that.
So jealous because I will think of that story just randomly.
God, I'm so glad I got you back.
For the 20 minutes, just be sitting there thinking about it. I mean, I'll think about things I did, 30 years ago and be like, that was awkward. And like worry about it.
Like, at least that didn't happen to me.
Yeah. That's a good way
maybe
to
it did. That's what I started to wonder.
No, you would have that rash.
You'd have that rash.
Yeah, you'd have physical evidence. Have I ever had a rash?
Oh God.
Alana did bring that up in an episode, and it was just like, it really took it down a completely...
She always does that. I'll be trying to do the outro, and she says, oh, by the way, I know somebody who makes out with corpses. Just drop it.
A person I know knows someone.
It's the same thing with the coffin club. Oh, have I told you this little story?
Mary Kate was present at that telling of the first time.
I was present when Alana first heard about that, and that was...
wild.
That was wild.
We also talked about, could we work at a mortuary? And the answer is no.
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Which we knew. We didn't need to have a whole conversation.
We knew this. I could mow the lawn. That's where we landed.
That's
if
a
they
weird
needed extra help.
compromise. They're like, hey, listen, we're looking for a funeral assistant. And you said, no, but I will cut your grass. And they said, deal. Sounds great. You know what? As long as the grass looks good, doesn't matter if the bodies are piling up. Thank you so much for your application.
That all came up. We were having a conversation. We were having breakfast. This was over
this is
eggs.
Strange. Yeah, it was. Really good eggs.
And they were delicious eggs. And we were having a conversation with a friend of ours who does work as a funeral director.
That's
does
why
work
it came up.
in that space. And Megan, when I tell you like the energy of the questions that Alana was asking, I was blown away. I was crying. It was one of those fun times. I was crying from laughing so hard. Like my stomach hurt.
I want to be with you all of the time out in the world just to watch you. What did she ask?
I do think my kind brain compartmentalized that side. There was a lot of like very technical questions.
Like, how are we getting the body?
And then there were like very bizarre suggestions for maybe different ways that they could embalm bodies.
I'm new to this, but I've got some hot ideas in the Undertaker world that I think you might want to jot down.
But yeah, she was like genuinely presenting new ideas that she suggested maybe they could bring into it. Like
please remember meeting. One of those ideas.
Did you or one of our other friends did suggest maybe like
no, that was not me. That was her. Of dipping them?
Right. Instead of maybe
making
the embalming solution within the body, just making it outside of the body.
Dipping them in the solution.
It was inappropriate. It was my bachelorette weekend. And did I want to be having a conversation about...
And then you had a nightmare about it. We caused that.
Yeah, I had a nightmare on my bachelorette trip. About dead people.
Yeah.
Death is so weird because the person doesn't care, but the people,
they no longer exist in any form
because they're already moved on to the spirit world.
Humans are weird.
Humans are very weird. Alive and dead.
Alive
once.
Well, yeah.
Do you think any of the stories we've covered, anybody's been wrongly accused?
Yeah.
Who?
For sure.
You know, the people.
Oh, great. So you guys remember that episode 17, The People?
Alana, you're insightful, and I appreciate that.
I am. It's one of my qualities.
I mean, who? I couldn't think of anybody. I do think there are people who got the incorrect punishment. But I couldn't think of anybody where I would 100% say they were totally innocent, just minding their business, and they got pulled into it. Doesn't mean there isn't, but I think at least they were involved. I think of Eva Dugan. I don't think she actually committed the murder, but I think she was there and lied about it to begin with.
So I forget all the names. What is the one we're at the barn and they no, not the barn, not the red barn,
not the red barn.
The one where there was like a younger kid and he drove away, but then he came back.
Yeah.
And
the fact that Mary Kate knows what you're talking about is unbelievable.
And the guy, it started with the guy finding the corpse when he's like camping out.
You're talking about Eva Dugan.
Yeah, Eva Dugan.
Yeah. The one I just said. Yeah, Clawfinger
I know,
Kitty.
but I couldn't connect it. I'm not good with the names.
Yeah, that one. I don't think she did the murder.
Yes.
Again, I think she knew about it and witnessed the crime.
She helped bury it, but she didn't do it.
Sure. But like they were involved at some point. They weren't just walking down the street and totally falsely accused.
Yeah, obviously the witches. But
that's
the
a
witches,
good one.
Good one. I forgot about the spooky season. Yeah, all of the witches were innocent. Again, the thing that bugs me most about the witches is if you can do any of those things, that sounds awesome, and I want to be your friend. Because if you can just turn into a rabbit,
incredible.
Like I want to see that regularly.
Transfiguration.
Yeah,
please.
Amazing.
Yeah. Nobody is upset about that here. Okay. Anybody else? You think? I mean, I think we have I think there's a lot of women we covered who the rules of the time were dumb. And Mandelbaum and St. Clair.
Yeah.
They're technically breaking the law. And even St. Clair says, yep, I'm doing it. But so is everybody else. But it was dumb. Right? It was gambling. It wasn't.
I do feel like a lot of them, we just don't know the whole story where, like, yes, they were accused. The one recently where the two men lived on their property and just the woman.
Viola, yeah.
Like, I definitely think that her family, they were all acting so weird. Yeah. I don't think it was just her, and I think that just she took the fall.
Something else was going on there, for sure.
Yeah, so I think so much of it, maybe we just don't have a complete story, which of course not. Things are so complex.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've been surprised about in doing all the research for this is I expected there to be more female Ted Bundys, and there really aren't a ton. There are some, Jolly Jane, obviously.
Yeah.
But most of these women, if you had given them different circumstances and different support, they would have just made a different choice.
Totally. I feel like so many of the historic ones were choices made because there weren't other options available.
Yeah, for sure.
Or because they were suffering abuse in different forms.
Yes.
That was just normalized and accepted at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost always there's more to the story than the headline. All right, Alana, do you have any questions? Or Mary Kate, do you have any questions before we wrap this bonus Christmas episode up?
Megan, how do you pick them?
It's the least favorite part for me, honestly, because I have to do a little bit of research for everyone to make sure Alana can hang. And it takes a very long time. And then I'll get 5 minutes in and I'll realize that they're a poisoner and I can't find
again.
So I watch a lot of documentaries. I listen to a lot of different podcasts. I search a lot of lists and then I compile them as I come across them and then circle back once they have to pass my initial screening to make my list that I know Alana will okay it. And then I'll go back and pick them and put them in order, for the next month.
And how does it feel to do all of that work and then have Alana say no instantly during the recording?
I wouldn't want it any other way. She's the star of the show here.
I am not the star of the show.
Yeah,
I'm like that clown in the corner. Like, why are they here?
You are the way I consider it is these stories are really dark, and I present the darkness, and then you infuse it with light, whether intentionally or not. That makes it easier for people to digest. That's how I think about it, because a lot of people like Mary Kate wouldn't listen if it was just me. I would be more gruesome if I was alone. So it makes me stay up at a lighter level, and then you just infuse it with questions that are
really relevant,
unintentionally hilarious, and that don't make sense.
Mostly World War related.
You obsess about you're like, but how does she spell her name? Is it with an I?
I like to know the etymology to see where they come from.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Let me get through the first sentence, please.
You're an etymologist now?
When she's off on Undertaker.
Especially in the earlier cases when they're in America, it's like, where do they come from? What's their journey?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Don't encourage it, Ricky. So I love that she comes in unaware. I don't know if you've ever acted with Alana. She cannot handle knowing anything beforehand. Even when sometimes we have to retake, I always laugh because I listen back and I can hear it. Sometimes something will drop or something, and her initial will be like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" And then I'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I said it wrong. I have to do it again." And I'll repeat the line, "Oh my God, are you kidding?" And I have to just splice in her original reaction because
Really?
girl can't do it.
I can't act, which is
Oh no,
pretty hilarious.
that is bad.
I can't picture you acting. When we were in college, we were both RAs because of our great respect for the roles.
Yeah,
Made that decision.
And there's like a beginning during training, like when new RAs are initiated, where the existing RAs, Alana and I, had to like act out scenarios that could happen. And just like picturing Alana doing that
great.
is so funny.
Oh God.
Alana acting as a drunk person.
I'm drinking. Yeah.
I am so drunk.
I have had so many beverages. That's how I imagine those lines are delivered. There was no improv of speech slurring or staggering. She just was standing up straight saying the lines.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it too. It's my favorite. Yeah, there's no, it is exactly how it has to be for her to be herself. I told her, I said, I don't even listen to music anymore. I have to just constantly listen to true crime so I can.
Like, that's intense. And I don't know if I could do that.
I think we both know you couldn't.
No.
I mean, this
Right. You can barely do that.
Yeah.
We are at the max of your true crime consumption.
I would not be listening
and
to
I
that.
still have to earmuff you, and you still can't listen back for some episodes.
I haven't been earmuffed in a while, actually.
I was just thinking that. The earmuffs are getting rusty because you're getting more used to it. And I'm always
microdosing.
I'm always surprised by what upsets you and what doesn't. Because sometimes I'll say something really gruesome and I think I pushed the envelope and you'll just say, "Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. They should have done it that way." And then other times you freak out.
It's the emotional part. I don't care if like it's really gruesome, but if it's like emotionally hurting, then I get sad.
Yeah, well, I hear you. All right, well, I think we'll wrap it up then.
Yeah.
If no more questions. Again, if you stayed through this whole thing, you are probably a relative of ours. Thank you for listening. And
Thank you for being related to us.
thanks for being our family.
Sorry about that.
We will be back next
Thanks,
week
Mom.
with our normal format. And I'll bring a crime and all that jazz. But Merry Christmas and
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Alana, would you like to take us out with a song?
No, I'm not ready for this.
Are you singing?
No.
Come on, sing us a song.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yay.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that,
Beautiful.
Diddy?
Hillary, if you're listening, I hope you remember that Christmas in the White House when that same lady blessed you with that vocal amazement.
Here I am.
Hillary Clinton, I mean. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Mary Kate, thank you for joining us. You are our official third host. If one of us goes away, you can just
You
step
have to
in,
take
I think.
over.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What
Nobody
an
will
honor.
notice.
I would love to just like cosplay as Alana, actually.
my
If that
God.
ever
Oh gosh, I would love that. Next time
comes up.
Alana's unavailable, let's do that.
Just pull Mary Kate in.
I'll have to hide my slight Philadelphia accent to try to pretend to be Alana, but otherwise,
I don't
I'm
think
in.
so. I think bring it.
Just avoid the water. All right.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
TTC out. Bye.
bye.